Hello, so this is National Hispanic Heritage Month. People who made history. During Hispanic Heritage Month and beyond, take a look at just a few notable Hispanic Americans who have changed the course of history. So first we have Jovita Idar. As the proverb goes, when you educate a woman, you educate a family. Jovita Idar believed that wholeheartedly. While working at her father's newspaper, La Cronica, she used the platform to speak out against racism and in support of women's and Mexican American rights. After writing an article condemning Woodrow Wilson's decision to send U.S. troops to the border, the Texas Rangers showed up at her door to shut down the paper, but she refused to let them in, literally putting her own body between them and the door. And they left. Although the Rangers eventually succeeded in shutting down the paper, Idar continued to stand up for women and Mexican Americans in her entire life. Idar died in San Antonio in 1946, but she lives on in spirit as one of the powerful and influential Latinas throughout history who have changed the world. Next, we have Alexandria OcasioCortez. I'm sorry if I get any of these wrong. Sworn into office at the age of 29, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the youngest woman to ever be elected to Congress, and her win was a historic victory for women in government, particularly women of color. Representing New York's 14th Congressional District, she herself is originally from Bronx and is of Puerto Rican descent. Along with Senator Ed Markey, she sponsored, in Alexandria here, sponsored a bill known widely as the Green New Deal, aimed at addressing climate change and creating economic prosperity through environmentally sustainable jobs. Next, we have Richie Valens. Mexican-American singer Richie Valens quickly rose to fame in the late 1950s, while still only a teenager. His producer insisted he change his last name from Venezuela to Valens in order to be more widely accepted by white American audiences. And his breakout hits, Donna and La Bamba, put Valens on the level of the other huge pop stars of the day. Sadly, together with the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly, Valens died in a plane crash on February 3, 1959, when he was just 17. Though his life was short, he was impactful. The song American Pie by Don McLean references the tragic incident as the day the music died, and Valens' life was portrayed in the 1987 film La Bamba, starring Lou Diamond Phillips. But the fact that he introduced American audiences to Mexican music was his true legacy. Next we have Gwen Ifill, Panamanian and Barbadian American journalist and author Gwen Ifill was a political correspondent and the co-anchor of PBS NewsHour. Early in her career, Ifill was a reporter for the Baltimore Evening Sun and the Boston Herald American, then went on to become chief political correspondent for NBC News. She moderated the vice presidential debates in 2004 and 2008, and wrote a best-selling book on race relations in America, The Breakthrough: Politics and Race in the Age of Obama. Over the course of her life, Ifill received more than 20 honorary doctorates and the highest honor from the National Press Club, the Fourth State Award. She passed away in November 2016 from breast and endometrial cancers. Next we have Emma Gonzalez. Emma Gonzalez was only 18 years old when 17 of her fellow classmates were killed in a school shooting at Florida's Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in 2017. The experience caused several of the students to become outspoken advocates for gun law reform, and they took their case to social media and organized the March for Our Lives event in 2008. A Latina American of Cuban descent, Gonzalez gave a powerful speech before hundreds of thousands of attendees and criticized politicians for their lack of action on gun law reform, repeating the words, "We call BS." She then stood in silence for a tearful and heart-wrenching 6 minutes and 20 seconds to mark the time of the Parkland murderer's shooting spree. Did you know that 38,000 Americans die annually from gun violence in America? Next we have Guy Gabaldon. Gabaldon was just a boy when he was fostered by the Nakanos, a Japanese family in Los Angeles neighborhood of the Boyle Heights. He was able to learn Japanese and basic Japanese and live with the family until they were interned in camps after the start of the war. Gabaldon enlisted as a Marine and was stationed in the South Pacific in 1944. When he accomplished his legendary feat, he is said to have peacefully captured more than 1,500 Japanese soldiers by negotiating in his conversational Japanese he learned as a boy. And he was subsequently nicknamed Pied Piper of Sappan. Next we have Linda Ronstadt, Mexican-American singer, songwriter, producer, and activist. Linda Ronstadt went on to win many notable awards throughout her singing career, including 13 Grammys and a Kennedy Center honor. Her 1987 album, Sencontes de Mi Padre, became a global hit as a Spanish album and sold more than 2 million copies in the United States alone. Ronstadt has also been an outspoken advocate for migrant workers' rights through the Arizona-based organization No More Death. She retired from singing in 2013 after announcing her diagnosis of Parkinson's disease and its negative effects on her ability to perform. In 2014, Ronstadt was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she recently received a Hispanic Heritage Award in a virtual ceremony that aired on PBS. Next we have Ellen Ocarro. There's no A there. I don't know. I'm just going to say Ellen. Who was born in Los Angeles and raised in La Mesa, California. Ellen, PhD, was the first Hispanic woman in space. After earning her doctorate in engineering from Stanford University, she joined NASA in 1988 as a research engineer and was selected to be an astronaut in 1990. Her first mission in space was aboard the shuttle Discovery in 1993. She went on to serve 3 more missions, spending almost 1,000 hours in orbit. She was the 11th director of the Johnson Space Center and the center's first Hispanic director. Her Hispanic first put her in great company with other pioneering women who changed the world. Jose Andres. Critically acclaimed chef Jose Andres came to the United States from Spain in 1991 and began a long career of award-winning culinary innovation. After the tragic 2010 earthquake in Haiti, Andres formed the World Central Kitchen, an organization that provides hot meals to those affected by natural disasters. After Hurricane Maria ravaged Puerto Rico in 2017, he gathered 19,000 volunteers to serve 3.5 million meals to distraught residents who had limited access to electricity, clean water, and food. In 2019, Andres fed furloughed workers during a month-long government shutdown. We have shown that there is no place too far or disaster too great for our chefs to be there with a hot plate of food when it's needed most. Andres wrote on the WCK website. Andres has won the James Beard Award for both Outstanding Chef and Humanitarian of the Year, and was nominated for the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize. Next we have Richard Cabanas, Texan and Mexican American Richard E. Cabanas was the first Hispanic person to become a 4-star general in the United States Army. He graduated from Texas Tech University and went on to serve in the Korean War as the commander of the 65th Infantry Regiment. He then served in Vietnam as commander of the 1st Battalion, 18th Infantry Division. He became the first Hispanic 4-star general of the United States Army in 1982 and received a number of military honors, including the Distinguished Service Cross, the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, and the Purple Heart. Cabanas died in San Antonio in 2017.